Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of my buying and selling and pay-to-play flipping series. We're starting off the episode at about 6.2 mil. We did really well last week, mostly because there were some serious price discrepancies and fluctuations. I think it was because Brutal Black Dragons had been released, not quite sure, but anyway, we're going to start off about 6.2 mil. On a side note, I'm going to be gone at a music festival actually for 4 days, so I will be gone basically until July 3rd. So I probably won't upload for a week. Whatever, too bad. Okay, so we're gonna jump into this episode here. So we're gonna start off with these Dragon Arrows P++. They had a 600 GP margin on them, and there aren't a lot traded, but we'll try buying 1,000, and for every one we get, we'll get 600 GP, because they were selling for 2,400, which is super nice. We'll take our last hat. So I don't even know, we made another 3k on that. So yeah, let's continue on here. And next up, I think we're going to do these Zulrah scales. We bought them for 159 and sold them for 157, so there's a 2 GP margin on them, pretty standard. We might actually be able to afford to get them out of them this time. We should do at least 10k, but we might do, yeah, we can do 20 actually. So yeah, we'll do 20k, that's pretty much the cap out anyway. And we'll find at least one more item to do. Okay, and next up, I think we might do this Windows Prayer Potion. Like, look at that margin. I don't think it would sell for 4,000, but we should still be able to get 400 or 500 GP margin on it. Now, I kind of realized later that I should just be decanting these into full dose potions and then selling them as the full dose. It's a kind of neat way of flipping, which I'm going to do in the next episode, I think. But for now, we're just kind of flipping them regularly. We're just going to buy them for around 3,100, and we'll hopefully sell them for 400 or 500 GP profit. And lastly here, I think we're just going to go with the Gilded Plate Skirt again. It's kind of just my go-to item when I only have 300 or 400k left. Because it's still easy to get a 20 or 30k margin on it. Yeah, because look at it, it's back down again. It kind of fluctuates a good amount, but it's sold enough to I won't be stuck with it for too long. So I think we'll put an offer in for like 289 or something like that. I don't know. Let's see what it's at. Yeah, maybe 289k, and hopefully we can get 30k margin on that. And we'll check back when some of the stuff has sold. So I am back, and I was gone for actually almost 2 days. So we did manage to sell everything. We didn't buy nearly as much as you'd expect. I mean, the Dragon Arrows we only got 67 over like a day and a half. So we have 3 days left in our membership. So we're going to just finish up our membership probably for this episode. So we'll try to get as much as we can. So to see how much money we made, the Dragon Arrows, we only got 67 of them. We got 430 GP margin, which is good, but we didn't get enough of them to make a huge profit. But we still got 30k off the Dragon Arrows. These Zulrah scales, we got 20,000 of them. Sorry. But we only got 1 GP margin, so we only got 20k from those. The Windows Prayer Potions, we did pretty decent on. We got 390 GP margin and just over 100 of those, so about 45k from that. And the Plate Skirt, we just bought one, and we got about 25k from that. So all in all, we got like just over 100k, so pretty standard, but still progressing, so that's not so bad. At least we're not going backwards. So let's try this one more time. And first up here, I think we're going to do the Gilded Plate Skirt. We did get a decent margin on it, and they do buy pretty quickly, actually, because they were made free to play. There's a much larger market for them now, because before, who would really need the Gilded Plate Skirt? If you're members, there's way better alternatives, obviously. But yeah, so we'll try buying them for 289 again, I think, and we'll get a couple more this time. So if we do manage to buy all 7 or 8 of them, that'll actually be quite a bit of profits, so we'll do that first. Okay, and next up I think we're going to do the Mystic Boot. It actually has a 2k margin on it, and it's only an 8,000 GP item. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to buy 200 of these, and then get one more item. So we'll buy them for about 81.10, I think. Yeah, and we'll get 200 of them. And last up here, I think we're going to do the 2-dose Prayer Potion. You can see me in the background buying and selling it. We're buying it for about 66.50, and we sell it for I think 6,100, so something around that. Yeah, so it has about a 400 or 500 GP margin on it, which is pretty good for the price point. Again, I should be decanting these, but these clips were recorded a couple days ago, so in the future I will probably be doing that. So we'll go ahead and buy a couple hundred of these for about 61.50. And yeah, I will come back when most of the stuff has bought and sold. Okay, so everything's sold. The Gilded Plate Skirts did not buy it all, unfortunately. We raised the price a bit. I forgot to mention we even bought Dragon Arrows, but in the end we barely made anything on it. It wasn't really a good idea. And we got all the boots and the potions. So on the things that kind of mattered here, the Mystic Boots, we actually got nearly a 1700 GP margin, and we got about 60 of the boots. We actually got almost an even 100k from the boots. And the potions, we got about 490 GP margin on them, and we got 100 of those as well. Sorry, not as well. We got 100 of those, and we got about 50k from that. So about 150k from just the 2 items. The other 2 didn't work at all. And yeah, so let's continue on here. So first up, we're going to do the Mystic Boots again, I think, because it actually still has like a 2k margin, and they are traded decently often. Again, they're used pretty frequently. And I'm kind of surprised how much money I make off the Mystic Boots, because it doesn't seem like I buy a lot, but the margin is pretty good, and it's kind of a mid-tier item. So it ends up being quite a bit of money I get. So we'll buy 200 of these. And next up, I think we're going to do the 2-dose prayer potion again. We find some new items that work pretty well soon, but these have been going pretty decent. And it still has like a 400 or 500 GP margin on these, so there's really no point not to try. We'll just try to get a couple hundred of these. I'll go for 300 this time, and yeah, if we get all 300, we'll get like a couple hundred K, so that'd be nice. So next up, we're going to try the Rune Crossbow. Now, this doesn't end up being a very good idea because I didn't realize, but there is a pretty low bind limit on the Rune Crossbow. It's like, I think it's under 100 units, so it's not really that good for the margin I have on it. But I didn't realize this till afterwards, so we're buying 200, which is pretty much hopeless. But still, we'll see how many we can get. And last up here, I think we're just going to go with the Rune Arrow. There's a 2 GP margin on it, and it's pretty much as quick as Zolver scales, and I can get about 11,000 of the Rune Arrows before I hit the bind limit, but unfortunately I don't know if I have enough money for that right now. No, definitely not. So we're going to have to go with something like 8k, and yeah, we'll check back when some of the stuff has sold. Okay, so everything's sold here, and we did pretty good actually. All the items we made a decent profit on, even the Rune Crossbows, even though we didn't buy so many of them, we still did pretty good on them. So we'll start with the best flip, which was definitely the 2-dose prayer potion. We got a 465 GP margin, I think, and we got pretty well 300 of those, which gave us about a 137k profit, which is pretty good. The Mystic Boots, so we got actually 1800 on each boot, and we got about 38 of them, giving us 71k profit. The Rune Crossbows, we did not get that much on each. We only got 240 GP. But we did get 70, and they bought pretty quick, so that's 16k for those. And the Rune Arrows, same thing, we got 16k from them. We got 2 GP margin each, and we got 8k of them. So in total, we actually probably got over 200k from that flip, which is a lot better than I actually expected. So we'll do a couple more of these. Okay, so we're trying to get some new items in our repertoire. So we're going to try the Black D-Hide. These are traded quite a lot, especially since they released, I think, the new dragons. They dropped black dragon hides, so they have a lot more traded now. But that's a pretty good margin for how quick it is and what the price is. So 110 pretty well each hide we buy. And we actually have a decently large cash tax, so we're going to dump a good amount of money into this. So we'll buy them for 3403, and we'll get 1k, I guess, of them. Okay, and next up, I think we're going to do the Dragon Javelins. These actually have about a 20-30 GP margin on them, and they're traded quite a lot. So we'll give these a try. Again, a kind of new item we're trying here. And I think we actually might try the poison version of the Dragon Javelin as well. We bought them for about 3,200, I think. Try to sell the Rune Arrow by accident. And we're going to sell them for, we'll have to drop them down a bit because they're not a lot traded. But again, yeah, see, that's a huge margin on it. So we'll go ahead and try to buy some of these. I don't expect to get too many of them because not many people use them. They're really expensive. But we'll buy them for 1620, and we'll try to get a couple hundred at least. That's a little ambitious, 500, but we'll see how that goes. And last up here, we're going to do the Mystic Boot again. It still has a 2k margin on it, which is really good. We're just going to dump the rest of our cash in here, so I think we can get just about 50 or so. Yeah, we'll do 50. And we'll check back when the stuff's bought and sold. Okay, so we've sold the Black Dragon Hides, and we're trying to do some quicker flips here, and I think the Mystic Boots and the Javelins have stopped selling, but we still made a good amount of profit on them so far. So the Black D Hides crashed a good amount, so we actually only got 13 GP on each one, which isn't super great for the amount of money we invested at least. So we only got 13 GP times the 786 hides we got, so it's only about 10k from that. Not super great. The Dragon Javelins went pretty decent. We got a 33 GP margin on them each, and we sold about 1,500. So it's 48k from that so far. And the Mystic Boots, we actually got an 1,800 GP margin again, which is great. And we got 30 of those sold so far. So that's 53k from the boots as is. And we still have to sell about half of them back. So yeah, should be going for a very nice flip for the boots. So what we just have to do here is just dump the rest of the items here. We'll see how much the margins actually changed. So the Dragon Javelins have dropped down a bit, so they're down to about a K each. So we'll actually be losing a bit of money on the last bit of these, but overall we'll still have made at least probably 30-40k. The Mystic Boots we'll have to check again as well. We'll just plop in a high offer here, and oh my god, those have crashed a lot. I don't know if we should wait. I think we're just going to dump them anyway, so we probably didn't actually make much on the boots because we probably made 10-20k, so that's a little unfortunate, but not much you can do about that. We don't really feel like holding out because we have a good amount of money left, and we have a lot of items in inventory, so we just want to get rid of these kind of. And I think we might actually do the blue dragon hide. It has about a 35 GP margin on it, which isn't a lot, but it is quite heavily traded, and we have a larger cash stack that we can kind of start doing items like this. So I mean, if we buy 1,000 of these, 35 GP margin, that's 35k, and they buy and sell really quickly. So yeah, we'll give this a shot. We're gonna buy them for about 22.33, and we maybe buy actually 2k if we can afford it, but we might actually try to diversify the items a bit. No, we're gonna do 2k. Okay, so the plan here is to do the Lava Dragon Bones, but pay attention to what the margins are. So 5,300 is their high price, and 51.55 is the low price. So this isn't necessarily bad, but the problem comes when I am not paying attention here, and I plop them in for the high price, and I buy a couple hundred of them. I think I go for 300, and I know right away, as soon as I hit confirm and they insta-buy, I'm like, well, fuck, we bought them for the high price. Of course, they all bought right away. And I'm like, well, shit. So we basically are going to just try to cut our losses here. So we'll try to sell them back for what we bought them for, which would be nice. But I think we're going to try to... Yeah, oh well, whatever. It happens. So we shouldn't lose too much on this. So we'll check back when we've recovered these bones. Okay, so we have sold pretty much all the bones and the D-hide and a couple of the other things as well. So the Lava Dragon bones we actually sold at about a 42k loss. We lost about 140 GP on each bone, so it could have been much worse for sure. We just dumped them out of there because we didn't want the item to crash anymore and have it look even worse. The D-hide, we got actually a 45 GP profit on each one at least, and we got about 1,400 of those. Netted us about 62k, so not the best flip considering we just goofed it. So whatever, we will continue forward and try to forget that. Just to mention, we are on the last day of our membership here, so we don't want to accidentally get caught with a bunch of members items. So we know pretty well when it's going to expire, so we're going to do a couple more quick flips, but if they aren't completed, we're just going to pull them out so we can buy the membership. Okay, and next up, I think we're going to do the Earth Orb. It had a 40 GP margin on it, and we checked OS Buddy, and it's traded quite a lot. So we'll buy for the low price of 14.10, and we'll just buy, I think, 1,000 of these. No, actually, we'll try a couple thousand. And lastly here, we're going to try the Blue Dragon Hide. You can see on the screen there, it has about a 75 GP margin, which is pretty nice, actually. Compared to what the price usually gives. So we'll buy as many as we can with the rest of our money. So we'll get about 1,500, I think. And at about 75 GP margin. Sounds good to me. So we'll check back in a couple hours. Okay, so we have sold the Earth Orbs and the Dragon Leather. And the Dragon Javelins as well. So the Dragon Javelins, we just kind of netted a loss on that section of them. Probably only 10-15k or something. But yeah, we're trying these new items here, and they're not working that great. I mean, but it's good to try some new ones because we'll find some great flips eventually. But the ones we've been doing more frequently have been working out better. But yeah, so the Earth Orbs, we got a 40 GP margin on them, which is pretty good, but we only got 770 of them, so we got about 31k from the Earth Orbs. The Blue D-hide crashed a bit, but we still got 12 GP margin. We bought about 1,500 of them, so that's 18k from that. So not super great, but we didn't lose any money at least. Which is always a positive. So let's go ahead, and we probably have time for one more flip before my membership expires. So I think we're going to try the Redwood Log. It actually has a 45 GP margin, and it's a pretty brand new item, so there's a lot traded. It settled down a bit though, because it used to be much more expensive. So I think we're going to dump the majority of our money in here. We're going to buy, I think, 2 or 3k of the logs. And yeah, so I hope this should work. I'm kind of confident because the redwood logs are traded a lot. At the same time, though, I don't know who's actually buying these things. They're not that useful. A lot of people are chopping them for sure. But we'll give it a try. We'll buy 4,000, and hopefully we can keep the 45 GP margin. And I think we're going to lastly try the Rune Arrows. They have a 3 GP margin on them, and we should have enough money to hit the buying limit, which is 11,000. So we'll buy them for 127, and I think we're going to put in for the buying limit, or maybe 10k. But close enough. It's a nice even amount at least. So we'll check back when some of the stuff has sold, and I think then we're going to renew our membership. Okay, so there we are. We have 1 day left in our membership. We're going to go renew it right now, I believe. First, we're just going to check in on the last flips we did. So again, kind of mediocre, realistically. The Rune Arrows, I mean, we did get a 2 GP margin on them, which is okay. It's pretty decent. So we got 20k from the Rune Arrows since we had bought 10k of them. The Redwoods, we did not manage to buy many at all. We got 245, sorry. And we sold them for a 45 GP margin, but that's still only like 11k profit. So not super great at the end there, but I mean, overall in the episode, we still made about 700k. I mean, it's not bad, but I mean, we did have a lot more money, so we should have been able to profit more. So we're going to try some different items next time, but we'll buy the bond here. We're going to just plop it in for 296, and yep, and we bought it right away. Perfect, so we have the bond renewed for another 14 days. So if you kind of look at it, now we're at 4 mil, whereas last time we started at 2.5 mil. So we are progressing. We're not going backwards by any means here. And next episode, I have some new techniques I'm going to try that should help profit us quite a bit. And hopefully, buying the bonds won't actually be a huge chunk of our cash pretty soon. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, guys. I will see you guys in episode 5. And yeah, if you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button. Or if you liked it, just hit that like button. Alright, I will see you guys next time.